Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Today guys, we're going to do a quick TA session here on Cardano's ADA. I did briefly mention yesterday that it had been invalidated with some of the recent moves that have been going on. I've got some pretty good news today, so I want to go jump back into the charts, take a look at Cardano's ADA, see what's going on and what I think is likely to happen next here with ADA. As we get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and you will be kept up to date with all the videos that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Right, with all that said, done, and out of the way, let's jump on down and take a look at what is going on here with Cardano. And guys, I am pleased to say that this video has been sponsored by Crypto.com. Now, Crypto.com is the world's fastest growing crypto app. It has over 10 million users around the world, and they have been moving mountains with their partnerships and, of course, all their sponsorship deals. You might see this across various different sporting industries, arenas, naming rights, and various other things. And they've actually been doing a lot of groundbreaking work in 2021, and 2022 should be no exception. Now, obviously, when it comes to, a Crypto.com, this is really for mainstream adoption, right? If you want to be on the go, making good use of buying and selling crypto assets at the true cost, then that's exactly what you're going to get from this particular app. Now, it can, of course, go a little bit above and beyond this. We actually use the Crypto.com prepaid debit card. Now, you can top this up with your kind of fiat from a bank, or you can, of course, use crypto and basically pop that onto the card, and you can go and use this card across various different outlets around the world, and basically earn a cashback on your everyday expenses. So whether or not you're buying new camera gear for a YouTube channel or an editing computer like that one behind me, you're making good cashback returns, and those returns are actually paid back to you in the CRO token, which of course, as we can see from 2021 data, is an appreciating asset. Obviously, it does fluctuate, it is volatile, but it's a good way to kind of look after your portfolio in the same way that your portfolio has been looking after you. Now, of course, there are many different types of crypto cards that Crypto.com actually offer. And, there's a few different ones you kind of want to take a look at. Now, we have the Midnight Blue. This absolutely is zero cost to start with, right? It gives you 1% cash back. You can just go up, sign up for it, not a problem. There's no staking requirements, nothing like that. Okay, this gives you 1% cash back, but you don't get any additional benefits. You can, of course, withdraw $200 USD from ATMs as well using the card. Now, if you do actually go ahead and stake some CRO tokens with Crypto.com, you'll be able to apply for the Ruby Steel version, right? And this gives you 2% cash back, but it also gives you a 100% rebate on your Spotify. Okay, as you come down here, you can see you also get $400 of ATM withdrawals per month as well. If you stake $4,000, you get 3% cash back. This is the one that Chris and myself used, the one that we used to buy Chris's Range Rover Sport, for example, the one that I use pretty much for all my everyday expenses, and I earn 3% cash back, and it's really, really good because you are getting pretty decent kind of way of stacking up some CRO tokens on the back of just your everyday grocery shopping, for example. Obviously, 100% cash back on Spotify, again, paid in CRO. Same with Netflix. So again, just it's kind of whip in all of your subscriptions like Prime, for example, as well, and you'll get cash back on those. Obviously, that's the Frosted White, $40,000 staked, 5% cash back, and you'll get Spotify, Netflix, Prime, and 10% Expedia as well. Obviously, as you kind of go up these levels, you get lots of different extra benefits. But if you guys haven't already checked it out, there's a link in the description. Using that link, you'll get $25 on the card to get you going. So why not check it out, Crypto.com. And with all that said, let's actually go ahead and jump into the charts for Cardano. Right, now Cardano has a couple of interesting things that have been going on, right? And I really want to kind of talk about, first of all, what was invalidated and what this actually means going further forward, right? So if we zoom on out here, there's a couple of things that we need to note. Okay, so this point here, this point here. So the one on the right hand side, this is higher than the one over here on the left. Okay, and so when it comes to Elliott Theory, there's a couple of things that we were tracking here. Okay, we were looking for a bigger move. Okay, we were looking at this entire move here being an A wave and this being a larger kind of B wave down. Okay, and then we're looking to track nicely to the upside. This was kind of going on the back of Sunday swap and the hype around it, etc. That got us a bit of a push. Now, in reality, once this actually started to come down and we actually lost this area of support down here, i.e. where we actually, not support, but where we started that first fifth wave, and that was your invalidation point. Okay, so this is where it invalidated that move. So if I actually go ahead and throw that on there, You can see the second that we cross this, basically it was invalidated. It means we were not going to be going up higher into that C wave. So instead, what we ended up with is effectively, just an A, a B, and a C wave here. Okay, which is kind of frustrating, but it is what it is. Then you obviously see this very choppy kind of move to the downside. You can almost argue that it looks impulsive, but it isn't impulsive. So this is what's really encouraging about Cardano, and it's pretty much the entire crypto market as a whole, right? We have our A, our B, and our C move here. We have some small kind of ABCs inside here, nothing too major, and then we start to pull back down. And again, what you're looking for is invalidation points, right? To kind of say that this is not impulsive. And if we actually were to try to make this an impulsive move, we'd have wave 1, wave 2. We'd be looking for some kind of wave 3, right? Wave 3, wave 4, maybe coming down into wave 5. Except this wave 4 here does invalidate it because it goes higher than wave 1. So we know it's not really impulsive. It's just very, very choppy. Lots of tiny kind of ABC moves, right? And you can even argue that there's just ABC right inside there. You have these really small kind of ABCs up. This was pretty much because the momentum just wasn't there. And again, you can start to see how this kind of really just tracks down overall. And this is actually really positive news. Whilst you're kind of going down like this, as long as it's not impulsive, we're actually not doing too bad because you're preventing yourself from doing too much more damage, right? So again, really small kind of B wave here. You can argue that that's your C wave. And again, even if we are thinking that this is the C wave and we're coming all the way down here, we go ahead and actually measure this distance out. And if I grab that and pull that up here, and then we transpose this over to the top of that B wave, you can see that this technically would have been an impulsive move. And what we're doing is we're waiting to go higher than we were previously, and therefore actually invalidate it. And I do think that's going to be an invalidation and not necessarily a 1 through 5, right? So it remains as an ABC. And the reason for this is if we actually label that up 1, 2, 3, this fourth wave being here, and then you'd expect to come down later for a fifth wave. Not only does it not fit the narrative, specifically with the kind of the way that the waves are structured, but also that stochastic RSI is now indicating to us that we are likely to move up. So I don't think that's the correct wave count to be having there. Instead, what we do know is that this here is a definitive bottom. Okay, so we can use that to our advantage. It allows us to kind of understand what's going on. Okay, so therefore we have an A, a B, and a C. There's nothing too strange about that, and for the most part, they actually quite line up nicely. You can also see there's an ABC, a smaller ABC inside there. Now what we're doing is we're actually wiping out that stochastic RSI without actually doing the damage to the price, as in people have been buying up the fear, and actually, there's a little bit more downside, potentially just around that $1.07, and the stochastic RSI is actually going to support that. So on the smaller time frame, we finally starting to see some corrective action, some bounce into the upside. What I'm not saying though is that we're going to get a complete reversal, but we are looking for stabilization, and that's what is appearing here now after this recent pullback. This is a really positive sign. Okay, nothing impulsive, just pure corrective action. Of course, we do need to push up higher than $1.18. And specifically, if I actually go ahead and mark that up, $1.20. So as soon as we move past $1.20 without going lower than we were previously over here at the low point of $1.03, as long as that's the case and we continue to kind of go higher than $1.20, then that's invalidating an impulsive move, and we are looking pretty good for the upside. The stochastic RSI would support such a move. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly remove some of these and tidy it up a little bit. Okay, I'm not going to kind of make this really, really messy or anything like that. I just want to keep it as clean as I can, so that we can obviously revisit as needs be, right? So I'm just going to grab hold of that and just take that off, right? Now, obviously, when we take a look at that stochastic RSI, it's correcting nicely. On the 4 hourly, it's actually overbought, so we are expecting some form of corrective action to occur on a slightly larger time frame. On the 8 hourly, we're just actually coming out, okay? So, we were heavily oversold. We're actually starting to see a bit of a bounce to the upside, which is good. On the daily, again, we're heading actually almost into the oversold area. So again, looking for stabilization on our daily, and our weekly chart, guys, is all the way down here, still oversold. And you can see that volatility just as we kind of come to the bottom of this area. Again, this is an area that we were in previously as well. So again, as you can see here, that $1.07. It's an area that we've kind of been hovering on for quite some time. This is an area, I won't say some time, but this is an area of a low point for us. This is a good, strong support, and that kind of holds up really nicely there. And on the weekly chart here, you can almost say it's a double bottom, which is actually a bull flag. So we want to kind of monitor those situations, specifically with a really low oversold stochastic RSI on our weekly chart. Obviously, we do have to be very mindful over what Bitcoin is doing. Obviously, heavily oversold right here on our weekly chart. We take a look at it from a daily point of view, it's oversold. We take a look at it from an 8-hourly point, it's oversold. The 4-hourly does need to come down, same as Cardano, and the hourly looks like it's correcting nicely. So overall, Cardano is actually showing some pretty positive signs. Do expect ourselves to come down maybe a tad bit lower, but nothing too major. Again, you can kind of see this ABC right in here. It's a really small corrective move, and then we should be looking for reversal up. I expect us to kind of see some kind of slightly larger push above $1.20. That will be my expectation here for Cardano on the smaller time frames. Again, on that weekly viewpoint, we are still waiting for a definitive change in trend after the recent pullback. Again, it's looking like we're just kind of finding the bottom zone, and we're waiting for that next leg, that next kind of move to the upside. As I said before on our Bitcoin video that I did yesterday, very much we haven't been invalidated. Bitcoin's still very valid for all-time highs. Even though you are seeing these kind of pullbacks, this volatility, it's too soon to say definitively it's a bear market until Bitcoin actually reaches its invalidation points, which it hasn't done so yet. I am still expecting further downside on BTC. It has the theoretical low point, according to Elliott wave of standardized kind of A to C kind of waves being equal, would put it at about $32,000. We aren't there yet, so there's potential for a slight further dip. So do be cautious. I wouldn't necessarily be piling in. At this point, we see the market's very green. This is very much expected. Just watch back to a couple of the videos ago. Very much expecting a bounce to the upside. We're seeing that. We're seeing a lot of green in the market, but usually this tends to lead to further downside, which is expected. But again, nothing that's going to actually invalidate the moves on Bitcoin's larger timeframes, and therefore still very valid to be in a bull cycle setting new all-time highs. Obviously, when we talk about bear markets are prolonged crypto winters. Okay, we might be in a phase that is bearish, or corrective phase that is bearish, but it wouldn't actually indicate we're a bear market for 18 months unless Bitcoin actually invalidates a few things first, and it isn't there yet. So it is looking pretty encouraging to see all this data the way that it is, and I'm not being shaken out. I'm just buying up some of the fear that is up for sale, and I hope that you guys obviously are kind of analyzing the market in a very similar way and not just acting emotionally on it. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor, so I can't offer you financial advice, but hopefully you have found this video useful and informative. If you have, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then do go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you are going to be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With that said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.